First tonight, officially, the Democratic Party is led by people old enough to remember the Korean War, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. But in reality, power has shifted. The real leaders of the party today are young pioneers, radicals like Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. They're the ones who determine the agenda in the party. For example, 6 months ago, nobody had ever heard of the Green New Deal, and now Joe Biden feels obligated to mimic it. Today, Biden revealed his own climate plan. Like the Green New Deal, it would put the entire American economy in the hands of the Democratic Party. It would cost, Biden says, about $6.7 trillion. How much is that? Well, it's equal to 2 full years of the entire federal budget. Biden says we must give Democrats this power immediately, or else the entire planet will become uninhabitable.
Science tells us that how we act or fail to act in the next 12 years will determine the very livability of our planet. So today, I'm announcing my plan for a clean energy revolution. It outlines what we have to do to meet this challenge head on and how we're going to get there. We're going to invest $1.7 trillion in securing our future so that by 2050, the United States will be 100% clean energy economy with net zero emissions.
Just 12 years to act, or the planet becomes uninhabitable. Who thinks of these lines? Actually, we think we know. It sounds familiar. Maybe it's because Biden took that line directly from the young pioneer herself. Watch.
The world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change. Like, this is the war. This is our World War II.
Like, this is our World War II. Actually, Biden borrowed more than just that line. The Daily Caller News Foundation discovered at least 5 instances in which Joe Biden's climate plan quotes left-wing organizations either verbatim or very closely. None of them are cited, no quotation marks. And that's another benefit of climate alarmism. Not only do you get to seize absolute power over the country and its economy, you also get to ignore federal copyright laws. There isn't time. For more on what's inside Joe Biden's climate plan, we are joined tonight by Power the Future Executive Director Daniel Turner. Mr. Turner, thanks very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me on.
So in the clip you just saw, it in the plan released to the press today, Joe Biden pledges to eliminate net carbon dioxide emissions in 30 years by 2050. As a scientific matter, is that a plausible claim?
It's amazing to think that as president he will eliminate carbon dioxide, right? It is such a nonsensical. This is the party that always says we're the party of science and we believe in science. To say we will have zero emissions by 2050 is just a stupid comment. It's a dumb comment.
Why?
Because
what you're doing is poo-pooing a dream here, Mr. Turner.
Yeah, I know.
So tell me why that dream's not achievable.
I mean, just to think, to create green energy technology, to create windmills, you need to forge an awful lot of steel. To make steel, you need an awful lot of coal. That's an emission. To get the rare earths that go into solar panels, you need to do an awful lot of mining and excavation, and that's emissions. You cannot create green technology using green technology. So it is this circular reasoning to think that somehow they will create a system that is self-sustaining. We need oil, we need gas, we need coal, and to say we will eliminate it by 2050, it's just a dumb statement.
So I think the idea is that technologies that are, as they say, in the pipeline, that are being developed currently, will reach a point by 2050 where that's possible. Are we on that trajectory, honestly?
By 2050, I'm an optimist, maybe, but we're definitely not there yet. We haven't cured cancer yet either. Right, but I don't live my life assuming, well, we're going to start curing it, so let me live
right.
and smoke.
Have another cigarette.
Exactly, right? We haven't cured it yet. So is the technology going to be there in the future? Potentially. It's not there yet. But you know what annoys me about this deal when it comes to Biden, and he's the foreign policy expert. Last time we had tensions like this with Iran, oil was at $150 a barrel. Why is it not right now? With all the tension going on there, it's because we have men and women working in oil, working in gas. We are energy independent for the first time in decades. And instead of celebrating that and saying that is awesome, that is what it means to be American,
yes.
He wants to destroy all those jobs. I'm tired of these politicians who destroy and denigrate the men and women who work in the energy industry that make it possible to have the quality of life that we do.
But Biden is one of the many politicians who told us that one of the problems geopolitically for the United States was that we weren't energy independent. We were funding extremism, remember, in the Gulf?
Yeah.
But now we're not. But now we have to give up our own domestic Oil production?
Now we have to give up our domestic oil production. Look, whatever happened to I remember he was Blue Collar Joe. He started his campaign in Pennsylvania. He launched it in Pennsylvania, saying, I'm a blue collar guy just like the rest of you. I'm middle class Joe, right? Pennsylvania has 300,000 people that work in oil and gas. Does he expect them to vote for him, right, when he's threatening their jobs? It's the third largest coal state in the nation. Are they going to vote for him? Ask Hillary how it went last time a politician went to energy states and told them, you know what, I'm going to put you out of a job.
So this is a nonpartisan question, sincere question. Biden, none of these people, Ocasio-Cortez, Dr. Ocasio-Cortez, they're not scientists, they're politicians. I mean, that's what they do. Is it an accident that all of their solutions increase their power? Or put another way, have you seen any solutions to global warming that would not make the Democratic Party more powerful?
No, and I haven't seen one that also doesn't enrich a certain industry. If he's going to spend $1.7 trillion, it's going to go to somewhere. It's going to go to people like Tom Steyer who own green energy companies. It's going to go to people who are giving to his campaign that run green energy companies. That money has to be spent by somebody. So every proposal that involves climate change usually enriches their donors and their donor base, or it takes away individual rights and individual liberty.
What's so interesting is that they're not even allowing for a policy conversation because this is a moral question.
Exactly.
They're telling our children right now that if you don't agree with their program, you're a climate denier, which is like being a Holocaust denier. It's an immoral category.
It is. Yeah.
And there's no disagreement allowed.
Yeah, and you remember Ms. Ocasio-Cortez said that it is better to be morally correct than factually right, and this is an example of that.
It's unbelievable. Daniel Turner, thanks very much.
Thank you
for joining us.